whole lot? Okay, when I find my notes, I'll get on to the next person. Where are we? This next bloke is Christopher Little. Everybody's brought their families along tonight, which I think is really great. Christopher Little is a bit simple. No, hang on. Sorry about that, Chris. Christopher Little is but a simple cobbler yearning for the motherland. I don't know what that means. But anyway, put your hands together and welcome Chris to the stage.
Thank you, good evening. I'm going to tell you a story tonight about the time that I became almost the first person in the entire history of the world to die of overdosing on marijuana. It was when I was 17 years old and I was at my friend's place and he'd set up this bucket bomb and he knew it was the first time I was going to smoke pot, so he gave me a very, very small amount, pretty much the smallest amount of marijuana that you can smoke and still say that you've smoked marijuana. And the only thing that I remember is putting my mouth over the kind of milk bottle opening and then waking up sideways on the floor with 3 teenagers freaking the fuck out about when they're going to call the ambulance. And basically what had happened was I'd had a hypoxic seizure, which is where your brain gets its shit pushed in so hard that it has to reboot itself. And at first I couldn't really put words together. I had no language. I could just say some words that felt nice to say. So I just kind of sat there among the chaos of my friends just going, demonstrable, subsidiary, alcove, yeah, alcove. And a moment passed and I thought, I better let them know that I'm okay. So I quickly jumped to my feet, which was good for about half a second until it dawned on me that I was actually trapped in one of those old tube TVs with the vertical hole going ape shit. Everything is just going whoop, 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 whoop. I'm getting dragged up to the ceiling by my collar like this. I'm hitting the collar, I'm hitting the ceiling, disappearing, reappearing on the floor just like, hey, was I just smoking weed just now? Oh shit, it's happening again. And my friend grabs me, he puts me in a chair, he wheels me up to a computer because we're having a LAN party, and in case you don't know what that stands for, LAN is ladies all night long. It's fucking off the chain. Actually, it's where a bunch of computer nerds get together and avoid learning important life skills. And I'm sitting at the computer and my friend just says to me, just chill out, man, I'll be all good, just play this game, whatever. And I'm there, sitting there, feeling pretty chilled out, pretty zen, just kind of making this really low-pitched humming noise because it feels really, really good in my throat to make that noise. And I'm just there kind of going, And it feels like I'm doing pretty well in the game as well. Like it's kind of honing my skills a bit, except in reality, that's not what's happening at all. What's really happening is I have my face pressed up to the screen and I'm letting out a series of high-pitched yelps like I'm fixing to rape the next guy that comes floating down the river in a canoe. And I'm also in the game just pressed up to the wall, emptying my gun into the wall, not really doing anything. And so my friend takes me again because I'm pissing everyone off with these sounds that I'm generating. And so he takes me and we go downstairs and we go to Darryl Lee Chocolates because in a few hours we have to go to the Year 11 formal and we have to buy presents for our dates. So I'm just moseying about in Darryl Lee Chocolates, trying not to break absolutely everything. And I'm going up to things every now and again and picking them up and going to my friend, just kind of going, hey man, is this a good, do you think this is a good one? And he looks at it and he says, dude, that's a $250 set of commemorative wild turkey shot glasses. That's not a good one. Take this box of chocolates, make the transaction, it'll be fine. And so we get our chocolates, we leave the store, whole bunch of time passes, it doesn't really matter, I was just being a stone dickhead. And we go to the formal, and one of my other friends, quite obnoxiously, goes up to the cool kids, the real badasses, and he's like, man, check it out, Chris has been smoking pot all day, it's so cool. Now these guys are fucking assholes. These are the cunts that picked on me every day, made my life a nightmare. And of course they want to get high with me, because who doesn't want to get high with this fucking freak show? That's going to be the trippiest shit ever, right? One of them comes up to me and he's like, hey man, you want to get high in the car park? And I'm like, yeah I do. Of course I do, I'm fucking cool now, right? I'm like one of you guys, right? And he just sort of rolled his eyes at me, and then I followed him into the car park, and there was this shitty Ford with someone's 35-year-old brother in the front seat reading a porno magazine for some reason. And we piled into the back seat, and this kid pulls out a joint and lights the joint, starts passing it around. Now, somehow I've now miraculously built up a resistance where I'm not fucking having a seizure every time I smell pot. So, I'm just going to town on this thing. I've never even smoked a cigarette. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going... Right guys, that's how it's fucking done, right? And then there's a couple of kind of stoned exchanges. Like one guy will be to the other guy like, hey man, are you pretty high right now? And then that's the end of the conversation. And I'm starting to get really anxious and really nervous because no one's really talking in the car. And I start to think, well, I guess normally these guys are just sort of sitting around talking about how much of an absolute faggot I am. So I don't really have anything to relate to them on a conversational level. And so I just blurt out the first thing that comes into my head, which happens to be, hey, do you know if the alcove is a demonstrable subsidiary? And while they were thinking about that, I got out of the car because I was getting really hungry, and I had those like stereotypically bad munchies where you would break into a retirement home, knock over all the old people that are trying to sleep standing up on their walkers just to get that last Tim Tam from the coffee table. And while I'm sort of thinking of what to do, I remember the room with all the girls' presents in it. And I go to the room and I find my present. It's really easy to spot. It's the only one that's not wrapped. It doesn't even have a card with it. I've just put like a post-it note on there. For some reason I wrote, to Chris, and then I crossed that out. And underneath I wrote, to Chris. And so I grabbed the box of chocolates and I go into this little cloakroom and I'm trying to rationalise, this is basically the worst thing I've ever done. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, if I just eat half of them, I'm still kind of sharing them, you know, that's okay. And so I eat half the chocolates, and then I come up with an even better idea, because I realise that I can actually fool my date by redistributing the chocolates throughout the box. And so I pull them all out, and I go chocolate gap, chocolate gap, chocolate gap. And by my stone logic, she's going to open the box and just go, oh, it's one of those fancy boxes of chocolate that costs the same as a regular one, but they only put half as many in. That fucking totally makes sense. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's one part of this story that makes absolutely zero sense. And that is, how did the 17-year-old version of whatever this is get a date to the year 11 formal? And if you're an ugly kid that's riddled with social anxiety, you kind of get a pass. Your parents get it, teachers get it, they go, that's fine, you don't have to go, we get it, you're going to be alone forever anyway, it doesn't matter. And except there was this one teacher, and she was of that very cruel delusion that there's got to be someone for everyone kind of thing. And so she corrals up all the fatties and all the genetic train wrecks, and she pairs us off. And that's okay, like if you're in the same aesthetic league, that's fine, it's kind of sweet. Except for some reason, she pairs me off with this stunningly beautiful Japanese exchange student, who I can only assume didn't have enough English to politely decline. And for any teenage boy that has a modicum of self-esteem, that's like, it's winning the lottery. But for me, it was a fucking nightmare. I'm already getting anxious, I'm worrying, the cranks are turning, these like Gregorian chants of self-hatred and self-loathing are building up in my head, just kind of like, she remains uncomfortable in your presence. Your face looks like a wad of jizz dripping from a crumpled Kleenex. That kind of thing. I think in Gregorian chants for some reason. It's really fucked up. And it made me so nervous I had to basically become like a regular drinker just to put myself through the practice sessions. But it all turned out fine, and I'd like to think that somewhere in a Japanese landfill there still exists these photos of this stunningly beautiful Japanese girl posing alongside her very own alabaster twig creature, wearing his dad's banana yellow business shirt that's about like at least 6 or 7 sizes too big. And as much as at the time it made me want to just be put into a capsule and sent to Mars so I could have just enough time to dig a hole and die of a hypoxic seizure, it was a very, looking back on it, I really am grateful for it that I got to spend 5 minutes being a part of the convoluted ritual that socially adjusted people deal with every day. Now Mars, that's an interesting one. A lot of people want to go to Mars. Not just astronauts and shit, but regular people. There's like this whole crowdfunding thing, which is probably a total scam, and lots of people pledge money for it. And I really can't relate to that. Like, I don't know if you don't know this already, but there is exactly 0 internet porn on Mars right now. Like, there isn't any. Whole planet of internet porn? Not any. The closest thing you're going to get to internet porn on Mars anytime soon is a couple of malfunctioning rovers going to town on each other. Kind of got the American one that's found the Japanese one that's fallen over and can't get up. The American one's just bumping in, backing up. Bumping in, backing up. And, you know, if you're into that whole interracial rape fantasy thing, then I guess that might work for you. I was reading this fascinating article the other day, actually, and it said that if we were to harness the kinetic energy of every single cum shot on the internet and put it behind a rocket as a propellant, we could potentially reach the next habitable exoplanet in about 100 years or so. I'm not saying that the science is rock solid, but I think we need to attack this from all angles and look at innovation wherever it comes. Thank you. Good night.
Chris Little, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.